What's up, guys? Well, today we're talking about this knife right here. This is the brand new for 2017 SOG Terminus. Very interesting. This is a Slipjoint, totally new design. This one happens to be in the khaki, coyote brown, tan coloration there with the satin blade. This also is available in black, but this exact model here, you can see there for the model number. And worth noting, made in China. Doesn't feel like it, but it is. Let's put the box off to the side here. Let's talk about some specs real quick. There's a lot to talk about with this knife. Super interesting. Definitely something a little bit different, and I certainly like it. First off, we have a 3-inch blade here, hollow grounds. All right, nice satin finish again on this particular model. This does have dual nail nicks. Okay, so when you're opening this, doesn't matter if you're on the right side or the left side. All right, you do have a nail nick to open that. One thing I don't like about this is the placement of the nail nick. You can see there's a cutout here, like a finger choil. I would much rather see both of them just go and just scoot up a little bit, just because there's more area here to pinch that blade. Having it down here, I understand the further towards the tip, the easier it is, you know. Using some logic here, if it was like way up here, it might be harder to pull that out, but I don't know, just preference, I guess. I would like it a little bit up higher. Wouldn't mind that. You can open this one-handed, okay, by using the thumb and middle finger. You can kind of push that out a little bit. Then you can use the thumb, putting pressure downwards against the blade to fully open it. And you can close it one-handed, although this has a very, very hard lockup, even though it's not locking, but it's kind of sitting in that position here. Very, very strong, very audible click there. But as long as you keep your fingers out of the channel there, you can build up enough pressure to pop that closed. So it is able to be opened and closed one-handed, which is nice. So going back to our blade here, 3 inches of a BD1 stainless steel. And yes, I will explain that a little bit more in a moment, because a lot of people are unfamiliar with that steel. 4 inches closed and only 2.9 ounces. Now, let's get back to that BD1. What is BD1? Well, it's a stainless steel. This one's Rockwell between 56 and 58. And if you know your knife stuff, you'll know that's a little bit on the soft side. All right. This is very much compared in between, say, AUS 8 and 8CR13 MOV. Which, if you don't know, AUSA is a Japanese steel, and the 8CR13 MOV is a Chinese steel. This is made in China. I believe it's a carpenter steel. Okay, so they use it in carpentry in China. But yeah, as far as edge retention, expect to be around that range. If you're familiar with AUS 8 or 8CR13 MOV, it's kind of in between both of them. The one benefit to the BD1 is it is high corrosion resistant. Okay, so if you live in a climate that you know, is by the ocean or something, some more humid, you know, something like that, where you have a lot of issues with rust, this may be a better option for you. All right, extreme close-up on here. A couple things I want to show you. First off, our black hardware is Torx heads. All right, I like its presentation side, which means nice clean look, and then you flip it over to get your adjustable head. But if you notice the texture here, very aggressive on these G10 scales. And of course, there it is, the big SOG logo, and that also adds grip because of all the angles where it's cut out. Very nice, good looking. Definitely not plain, but classy. It's not too busy for me. As far as the clip, it is a deep conceal carry clip, which I really like. And I actually like the logo on this a lot, because you can clearly see what knife is in my pocket when it's clipped there. You know, might be a pro, might be something you don't like. I don't know, personal preference, I suppose. But what is nice is that this is swappable. You can see that you can switch it to the other side. There's a channel cut there. All right, so how you get it from the factory here is a tip up right side carry, but you can have it tip up left side carry if you want, which is very nice. So, in opening and closing this again, in closing it, it's almost like that blade wants to suck in, like it feels magnetic, but it's not. Very smooth. There is no half stop at all here, but that once again, very audible, you know, kind of click when that locks, because nothing's locking, but when that fits into its open position. Very sturdy. Doesn't really want to close very easily, okay, which is a good thing for slip joints. You want it to be nice and stiff. Must have a real strong, you know, back spring in it. Oh, wait a minute. This doesn't have a back spring, okay, or a lock bar rather. Very interesting. It does have a partial spacer towards the bottom here. All right, about 35% or so. But yeah, there's no lock bar. There's actually a pin. Let me see if I can get this to focus for you. Right in the middle there, the top pin is just the blade stop, and the bottom pin is just to keep the handles together. It's like a standoff. But there's a middle pin in there. Let me see if I can zoom in and get this better detail. Yeah, that middle pin. Let's break the action here so you can see this. Watch the tang as I rotate. See how that's moving? I go closed and then back open. And you watch that fall into place. All right, and that's what kind of quote-unquote locks the blade. Once again, it's not a traditional lock. There's nothing actually locking the blade open, but it keeps it firm in position. Very interesting. I really like that. Obviously, slip joints, you don't see any with open frames like this, so it makes cleaning it a lot easier, especially if you're EDCing this thing day in and day out. It gets packed with filth. You got to get the can of air out or some Q-tips and get in there and clean it, but not so much with this. So it'll stay a lot nicer, a lot longer. As you can see, there is metal liners on here as well, which is very nice. All right, just pretty unique, pretty interesting. I like it. It is very comfortable in this position right here. All right, you can see there's a natural kind of cutout. It's not really a finger choil because the line continues all the way down, and then it pops back up towards the end here. But having my pointer finger wrap around right there, very, very comfortable. Awesome jimping on the back of the spine there, very purposeful. All right, sharply cut in there, but not uncomfortable. So a big fan of that jimping there. But when you choke up, see there's a little bit of a guard here. When you choke up on it, it's just so flat here and such a 90-degree angle for that. Not really as comfortable. All right. Now, if you're using this really hard and you happen to bump on the back of the blade, because a lot of people don't like slip joints because, oh, I don't want it to close on my hand when I'm using it. Well, if you use some common sense, most of your pressure is going this way, right, towards the edge, because you're cutting things. You don't put a lot of pressure on the spine, but accidents happen. You could whack it on something. So if you're holding like this and you whack it on something, that will pinch you. But you'd be much happier with a bruised pointer finger than half a pointer finger. Because if that little guard wasn't there to pinch you, it would just come down and cut you. So not a huge deal on that. But again, very rare occurrences when you have a slip joint, it just folds on you. I mean, things happen and people find a way to cut themselves. But not a huge deal there. So yeah, pretty interesting. I really like it. The Terminus. I'm a Walking Dead fan, so that makes me giggle, the name. But other than that, I think Terminus, the definition of it is like an end point, the end of a, I don't know, road traveled, I guess. I think it has something to do with railroads. I don't know. It's like an end point or an ending or something like that. But pretty cool name, I guess, for a knife. But I like it. I really like this khaki tan coloration with the black hardware and the satin blade. It's just really nice. So far, performance-wise, it's there. It's not nothing really to write home about, but it's not a slouch either. As far as price, these are retailed for $80, so they're selling for about $50. I already see them for sale on some dealers' pages. All right, so expect about the $50 range or $50 mark. And for a new age slip joint, so basically a modern slip joint, tactical, pretty damn cool. I really like it. I like the design. It is comfortable. It is nice and grippy there. It's just definitely cool for a slip joint. It's nice to see more options for people outside the U.S. and people, like I said, who are so restricted with their knife laws. So definitely an option in 2017 for all you guys out there. And of course, if you just like slip joints in general. But it really doesn't feel like one. Like I said, it's such a strong there. In using it, there's no slop at all in that blade. All right, it does take a little bit of pressure to get that to, come off its axis. So very nice. But like I said, if you really need to, you could open and close this with one hand. Just enough cutout there to grab that blade, all right, and get it out. So if you're in the midst of something, in a project, you can take this out and still have to, you don't have to use two hands. In other words, that's another reason why a lot of people don't like slip joints. They don't like having a knife. You need a second hand to use. They want to grab it in the middle of a project. So yeah, pretty cool though. I like it. The SOG Terminus. Big thumbs up. for them. I think this will be a popular knife in 2017. So there you go. Let me know your opinions down below. When you get these things, let me know what you think of yours. I'd love to hear your feedback. It's important to get a lot of people's opinion on something before you go ahead and buy one or have interest in it. Don't just take my word for it. But anyway, thanks for stopping by and checking out my video. I appreciate your time as always. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you soon. Take care.